What's going on, you guys? Happy Thursday. Sorry it took me 15 minutes. I was embroiled in an intense conversation about characterization and why I like or dislike characters. Very meaningful stuff. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are all of you? Welcome in. Today we're doing something really fun. This is thanks to Callie over on the very upper tier of my Patreon. We're going to be listening to the Bastion soundtrack. Now, I have something to tell you. It's a bit of a dirty secret, but I'm going to tell you because this is a sacred secret circle and no one will judge me. But I actually don't really like a lot of Supergiant's soundtracks. And I know that that's sacrilegious, but in terms of my own personal taste, a lot of these are not they're not things that I generally like. Like there are aspects of them that I very much like, but for the most part, I don't really care for the sound. I know, and in this era of the new Marco, who's very objective, the opposite, very subjective, I feel like I can share that. I do think that Darren Korb, of course, is a terrific and fantastic musician. I say all that to tell you that I actually think that Bastion is actually one of my favorite soundtracks of the Supergiant games, much more so than Hades 1 and Hades 2. Bastion has a little bit of a rough edge around it. Bastion is imperfect. Bastion is a great game that I've never finished it, but I have gotten very close multiple times. Bastion is definitely my favorite of the Supergiant soundtracks, and I am really excited to actually listen to it from top to bottom. There have been multiple times in non-gamer episodes that I've wanted to bring Bastion tracks. But yeah, no, I don't vibe with the only Hades 2 track that I really enjoyed that I listened to was the orchestrated one with Darren and Austin. I thought that was exceptional. Yeah, the vocal tracks in Circles, it's good. It just doesn't really do anything for me. I've been keeping that secret locked away for a very long time, but I felt that I needed to share it with you as we dive into Bastion, because genuinely I really, really like this soundtrack. And so when Callie asked to have me listen to it, I was actually extremely excited because I haven't listened to the whole thing top to bottom. I really like Bastion as a game. It's interesting, Bastion just doesn't try really hard. Yeah, I've heard about Pyre. I really want to try Pyre, actually. I don't know why, but the Hades stuff, and honestly, even the in-game Siren band in Hades 2, I find it so kitschy, and it just doesn't appeal to me in any way. And I know that that's sacrilegious to say because, I know that Supergiant is obviously a well-loved and very successful at this point game studio. But yeah, I wanted to come out the gate and just say this. So Pyre's actually on my playlist, to be honest, for this year, and Transistor, because those are all sort of the early games. And so, yeah, I also think that it's weird, I also think that the soundtracks are very good for the games that they make. So like in that regard, I have immense respect for Supergiant and for Darren and all of that and all of the things that they produce. I mean, like, I have so much respect. And yet it's funny how objectively or subjectively I keep saying objectively, subjectively, I just don't really care for the sound itself, which is, I think, a very funny, a person in my position. I want to respect and admire the art, which I think I do, but also I recognize that it's not to my personal taste. That said, I did share Lament of Orpheus with a vocal pathologist, a vocal like person, and I'm really excited about that. We both had a lot to say, and I love Lament of Orpheus. So, yeah, it's just kind of hit or miss. But in any case, let's dive in. It's a pretty short one today, so we won't be on very long. I do have another stream later tonight when Crimson Desert comes out. So, we'll be playing that tonight and then all day tomorrow. So, basically, you guys probably already know this, but this is Bastion, which is obviously an action RPG. Korb described the soundtrack as an acoustic frontier trip hop, blending acoustic instruments like banjo and dobro with trip hop beats to fit the game's nihilistic cowboy atmosphere. The soundtrack was his first video game score. Of course, you already know this, but Bastion is a critically acclaimed action RPG developed by Supergiant Games, their first game, renowned for its reactive narration, hand-painted art, and award-winning soundtrack. Players control the Kid as he explores a world shattered by a mysterious event called the Calamity to rebuild a sanctuary known as Bastion. And honestly, Bastion, now that I'm thinking about it, so I started watching Cowboy Bebop over on patreon.com/MarcoMeatball, and it's actually not that dissimilar, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff that is, I actually like this like sci-fi cowboy vibe. It's definitely like uncharted territory for me, but I think part of the reason why I'm enjoying, I've only watched one episode of Cowboy Bebop, but the reason why I like it is actually it's not, there are some correlations there to how Bastion leans into that, you got the narrator who's like, well, and he turns around the corner and blam blam, and then, you do the shooting and stuff. I also think that the reason why I like Moonlighter 2 is because it reminds me a little bit of Bastion, but obviously with the rogue-like elements in there. So in any case, yeah, I'm really looking forward to listening to this. It's pretty short, 1 hour and 40 minutes, or 1 hour and 40 seconds. So we'll kind of just dive right in and take a listen, vibe, chat when we feel like chatting. And, you guys feel free to put me on while you're at work or whatever. And I'm just going to kind of do my thing, listen along. If something really sticks out, I'll talk about it. But yeah, that's the game plan. Short and sweet, 22 songs, and we'll have a good time. Moonlighter 2 is excellent. It's in early access, but it's a delight. It reminds me a lot of, it has elements of, it's the system where you go out, you do the stuff, then you come back and you like sell the stuff. It's like so charming. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it. Get used to it. Where's my,
Listen, all this takes a lot of getting used to. And you do get used to it. After a while. There's 3 things I'll always miss, though. 1, not having to watch my step all the time. 2, forget about 2. And 3, I miss the songs. Folks from Ceylondia knew how to carry a tune. Sure, we've got some songs on the old gramophone, but try and imagine what they sounded like, playing to a room full of fine people, unwinding at the sole regret after a hard day's work. Those were the days.
It's interesting. Sinners obviously just won a bunch of stuff at the Oscars, and I don't know if you guys have seen Sinners, but I really recommend it. Not only is Michael B. Jordan's performance delightful, which is what he won an Oscar for, he plays like himself, but his brother, so he has like a split screen sort of thing, and that's really challenging in and of itself. But the nature of the music of Sinners is, obviously it's like a country. There's a bit of like country folklore. And that's honestly not dissimilar to this. The vibes here, it's real like down and grizzled, and it's all like on the chords, and there's a journey that we all have to go on, and sometimes and it's cool because it's classic like bluesy classic, but it's a bluesy thing where we have this sort of like just the like sitting back in the chair on the porch, and it's well, let me tell you a story about the time that, and it's just cool. It's just cool how it sets up a narrative in a very, very, very low key, but there's a little bit of a broody quality in the momentum of it's sort of just like, it's nice. It's nice. All right, let's go to a proper story. Yeah, I love this song. And see, it's nice. So I'm not going to stop too many times just because I also want to enjoy it. But there's a couple things worth pointing out here in that obviously we get the guitar sound very synonymous with that, blues folk style, but then the fact that we do mix in this EDM aesthetic, it's excellent, right? And it feels, there's automatically that tension, and it's cool because you would hear the tension regardless of the addition of the instrument, of the electronic instruments, but because we basically layer those two on top of each other, it's almost like we get that doubling of the intensity, and it kind of pushes the tension forward in a delightful way. And I love how even this has like this almost longing quality, like the way so even that particular sound in the range where it sits and where it's like sort of middle upper register, even that has a sense of like looking out at the distance and having like a longing quality to it, which is just nice, isn't it? It's just nice. Because it shifts. Obviously, that's not the whole, like, that's not the thesis of the piece, right? But the fact that, obviously, because we just heard it move down, so it doesn't sustain that. But it's interesting how, like, even just like a couple repeated notes can produce a sound of like a specific emotion, right? Which is pretty cool. What's up? And that's a really nice device there. So we have the sustain, and then as we have that momentum, a boom, we have that boom, and having that long legato stretch there is actually interesting because, again, like with anything, and I've been saying this a lot recently, but the building blocks of music are rhythm, tempo, and melody, and when we are able to. Here we have a very clear rhythm. And then, which also in its own way produces a melody. But then what's interesting is that to have the drone, that also adds not a melodic layer, but it does. The sustain is interesting because the sustain is tempo-less theoretically, even though there is a tempo marking and stuff. But the sustain is open space, but it's not like a breath where there's nothing. It's a drone, right? And so it kind of is timeless, where there's a lot of like, it's just such an interesting thing to listen to, right? Because you have the drone, which is just kind of sustained, and then underneath you have the momentum of the rhythm carrying us through this, right? And then it's interesting because then the drone, if it goes into a melody, then that actually was all just giant setup, and I think that's excellent. That's like so great, I'm telling you, I like this game more than Hades. I've played this game almost all of it. I haven't finished it. Plus, it's only like 4 hours. It's a real fun game. It's probably one of my favorite. I mentioned this when I started the stream, but hello guys, welcome in. I would say that this is probably my favorite of the Supergiant. See, so it's cool. So it's cool because we have the guitar that has its own rhythm and its own momentum, and then we start adding the rhythmic portion of this, and with the percussion and the sort of rhythmic stone treading quality, and all of that really elevates it. And so then you start to get that even more momentum. Even though the tempo is not necessarily increased, the layers of the different things sort of coalesce into this sound of, it's just that's why I love music. And actually, there's danger in that twisting there. Actually, this is a track I'd probably play for a percussionist that I have coming on later today. So I would incorporate this in a. This is a fun percussion piece because of the rhythmic and intention behind it. And really, a lot of the soundtrack is that way too. But yeah. Oh, I forgot. Bend the Breakers next. I love that track. See, like, I love that. Hey Yoshi. Yeah, I've almost always finished it. I'm always like probably an hour before finishing it, and then I'm like, okay, I've done enough. It's okay. I mean, it's a short game. Bend the Breakers is so good though. And see, this is a prime example of how we take the I don't think there's steam. Well, I don't hesitate to say steampunk elements in this game, but there are, like, obviously there's a mechanical element to it, and it's cool because you hear the steam, the release of the like the all that stuff, everything kind of like all that's really cool, because it's country, but it has like I think it's fun when we use non-traditional instrumentation, and that's something I really love, when we kind of twist around with our standard expectations of music, and use in this case this mechanical sounds and stuff. Hey, what's up? I'm well, thank you. Yes, I'm good. Yes, Cowboy Punk. Yes. How are you? That very subtle tension there, but it's all in the rhythm, you know. Bum beam bum beam bum beam bum beam bum beam bum 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 bum, and then obviously the twisting and contorting here. It's a great track. Hey, welcome, my name. Sorry. See, and then it's cool because it pulls back, actually. See, it's cool because it pulls back, and so we have all that. The thing is it never gets too big. So we ascend, we kind of hit a wall, and then it kind of just softly resets back into this piano. Bum beam bum beam bum beam bum beam bum beam bum beam, right? And there's an alternate. I didn't catch that. There's an alternation between the sharpness, and then it goes into the piano. Kind of repeats itself over and over and over. It's cool how even though it's not really different from the rhythm of the strings into the piano, it shifts enough where it actually, you may not even realize it while listening to it, but it actually switches your brain and thinks about it slightly differently because of the way that the rhythm pivots. Now, mind you, it's still kind of soft. It doesn't really change, in terms of dynamics and so on and so forth, but it does change, I really like this soundtrack. I honestly, it's like such a good soundtrack. It's a little bit subtle. It's a little bit pulled back. It's not in your face. How's the mic balance between my voice and the audio, by the way? Everything okay there? Good? Okay. Thank you. Good. Okay, thank you. A little bit of danger in there too, But then, actually, this is the best part. I mean, when the guitar kicks in the back, that's sick. I haven't heard Transistor's OST except for like In Circles. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the stream, but I'm not the biggest fan of Supergiant's actual like sound. But Bastion being the one that I've heard the most. Hades, I'm kind of take it or leave it. Hades 2, I'm very take it or leave it. Mostly leave it. Bastion is definitely a take it. And I haven't really heard Pyre or Transistor, and those are also two games I really want to play as well. And see, you hear the drone there? cool. The Soul Regret. Also, like, it's so interesting to then throw in a sitar completely out of nowhere. I've never heard this. Well, I mean, I've heard it in game, but I don't remember it. Sick. This is actually, I actually like this more than Bend the Breaker even. Excellent. See, like, that's a track where I mean, that was a whole meal. I think, like, if you literally went 2 more minutes and moved it and kind of zhuzhed it a little bit, it would be even more amazing. Just stretched it out a little bit, you know. It's definitely got a focus playlist wouldn't be the worst thing, because it has a bit of a drone to it. It's kind of a repetitive rhythmic pattern, which is helpful. It's helpful for momentum and sustaining attention, but it can also become sort of something in the background. It's okay for disturbing. I hope it's not rude. It's not rude. I wanted to ask about Heroes of Might and Magic soundtrack. I remember you said you'd be covering it. I've listened to more on Patreon live streams. Yeah, that's pretty much the only time. The channel's kind of shifted a little bit, so yeah, no, I appreciate that so much. It's tough. It's tough to do. I don't necessarily do as many individual videos on, like, independent tracks. I think Heroes of Might and Magic would probably definitely end up on a video about, like, that kind of game. Yeah, TBD. To be determined. Hi, Fies. How are you? Yeah. It'd probably be in a genre video about, like, strategy, if anything. Okay, Twisted Streets. Oh, that's a snare, okay. Of course, thank you for understanding. Sorry about that. So that's mixed meter. Interesting. So the piano's doing its own thing. Almost sounds like the Halloween theme. Go back to work. What are you doing? Yeah, the layering is really nice. Again, we have like momentum, a bunch of different instruments kind of stacked on top of each other. Speaking of Heroes of Might and Magic, there was a game that came out today, I think, that's like Heroes of Might, Magic, and Cards or something. It's like a card. Oh, I forgot they used you know, actually that's something of note, is that like what's interesting about the soundtrack is that it takes that standard Western sound and then it actually changes it, and it does add that like a slight Indian Eastern sound quality to it. It actually starts to ingrain further and further in, and it adds you know, more layering to it. This is definitely a banger, yeah. Oh yeah, this track, yes. This track is, you know what I like? You know what? As a general note for this whole soundtrack, I think one of the reasons I like it is that it's kind of dirty. You know, it's like not clean. It doesn't have any of the like. It's kind of grunge. It's kind of like you can kind of like, you know, you blow the dirt off of it. You know what I mean? Like it kind of has like a stink to it. And I say that with like immense praise. Like it just is a little bit stanky. And I think that it's full of sand and dirt is a better way to say that. Yeah, for sure. It's so funny. You know, you guys in chat will say something and it'll take you like a little bit of typing and you'll say exactly what I'm trying to say, but like in a paragraph. Like I'm trying to articulate myself. I hate sand. You know, I'll try to, I guess that's why I'm over here. 'Cause I'm the yapper, I guess. You're like, it's full of sand and dirt. And I'm over here like, you know how when you really consider the layering and you lift the veil of the, and you see the sand and the, I'm over here trying to explain this shit. You guys literally explain it in 2 seconds. Meanwhile, I'm over here writing a fucking 15-page paper about it. Listen. I need to feature this track more for non-gamers. Dude, I don't think I've ever listened to the whole track because obviously I've played, so I know Terminal March, but there's something about that undulation that just occurs over and over and over, and then it builds, and then in the background you've got the percussion as well. So the two, plus the way that the chords are being played. Now I'm not a sitar expert, right? So we're just talking about vibes, but it's just a delight. Isn't it a delight? It's just like, you know what's interesting is that as it continues, it's funny because it sustains itself, but it builds intention. It builds intention even though it repeats, you know? Also, Marco, just want to say I really appreciate the non-gamer reacts videos. Oh man, I'm so glad, Ignacio. Well, the good news is that they're going to be a lot more. Please don't get tired of them. They're actually going to become the main thrust of the channel. They're actually kind of becoming more of a podcast. Not the format's the same, but we're really kind of gonna lean into the podcasty nature of things. I love sharing music. I love talking about music. I love talking to people, as you can tell. And the non-gamer videos are so much fun to film because I think it's like, first of all, you guys clearly love them. And that makes me happy because I love bringing cool and interesting people, even if they're non-musicians. It's just so much fun. And I think eventually maybe the formatting will change. Like maybe there'll be more structure to the songs that are picked, or, you know, whatever, like maybe we'll play around with that. But with the Jacksepticeye video, I've realized that there's a huge potential, huge scalable potential. And, you know, I wrote to Keanu Reeves. I wrote to Markiplier. I wrote to Charlie Penguin Zero. I'm going to write to Charlie Cox. I'm going to write to Brie Larson. I wrote to Henry Cavill. I wrote to Camille Nanjiani. So I think that we can scale that and have the, you know, sort of, because what's the main goal of the channel, and what's the main goal of people that love music? It's to get other people to listen to it, you know? And it's that kind of feeling of that mutual sharing, right? And an exchanging of ideas. Yeah, I'm going to write to 88-bit drummer. I love him. He's amazing. I'm going to write to him as well. Yeah, so here's the thing though. The composers, some people watch, some people don't, but you know, what's interesting about the non-gamer series in particular is because it's just unique. It's interesting. It's fun. Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, like, I definitely will get Jared on, and yeah. So expect more. Well, actually, you're actually of those, you're probably gonna get you're gonna get 3 a month actually for now, with other stuff in between. I haven't figured out, but it's gonna be less. Sorry guys, I don't mean to talk about this unrelated to Bastion, but I obviously do a lot of thinking about my channel. But there's probably gonna be less individual reaction videos and more like cumulative. Like if I did a super giant episode, I think it's going to be a little bit of growing pains for everybody, but more video game challenges, more fun stuff, more community based stuff, and then more non-gamers and gamers. Like I just had Reb Ford last night. She's the creative director at Warframe. Huge gamer, huge nerd. Awesome, fun chat. It's really about like sitting down with people. It's kind of, think of like, last meals or hot ones, that kind of format. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Just fun. Am I into JoJo? I don't know where to start JoJo. I would actually read JoJo if I knew where to start. Fuck, dude, I forgot how hard this goes. And that's the other thing too. You know what I realized? I realized that like people just want to talk about music. Like you guys want to, yeah, I mean, I think you guys want to watch videos about theory and analytics and stuff, but also music is such a vibe, and it just feels so good to just enjoy music with other people in a communal setting. There are lots of great channels for theory, not mine, and I know that. But like it's just so much fun to just talk about it, and because music is such a, you can't really pin it down. Like we're lucky we live in a digital world, so for the most part, where we can take a piece of music and really devour it and eat it at our own pace. But like, music is this type of thing where it evaporates like water, technically you can't hold on to it. And so the fact that we're able to hold on to it is so much fun, it's cool. I thought, but JoJo has like 2 soft resets, doesn't it? There's the one that takes place in the Wild West. There is JoJo Part 1, but then there's another JoJo Part 1, Part 8. It's unclear to me what the first manga book is. Favorite sea shanty? Oh, I don't know. If that rumor is true, that's a big rumor. That sounds amazing. Phantom Blood is the first part? Ah, okay. Okay, thank you, Woodsem. Yep, I see. I don't reach the gay Italian JoJo story until part 5. Damn it. Damn it. What a juicy track. God, that's so good. Percy's escape. Oh my god. Hard space shipbreakers? No, I don't know what that is. Faith of Jebel. Poop Shoot Magoo. Bro, I know this is your first. This has got to be one of your first streams. There's no way I would forget a name like Poop Shoot Magoo. Is this your first stream? No, it's not your first stream, but I'm pretty sure. Poop Shoot Magoo, how many streams have you been in? There's no way I would forget a name like that. First time chatter? Better not be the last time with a name like that. Oh. Oh, damn it! Needed more. Mine, Windbag Mine. Hard Space Shipbreaker is a game about disassembling spaceships in orbit? Hold the fuck on. What? I'm not sure I would like this game, but I am intrigued by the soundtrack. Breaking apart ships in 0G. Or wait, Hard Space? Hard Space Shipbreaker. Oh, interesting. I love the drone here. That's so cool. At the end of the stream, I'll watch it. I'm amazed how many of you like that game, since I feel like Bastion wouldn't be related at all. Did I only shave? Oh! my head. Ah! I'm so sorry. Did I only what the fuck? I clicked on a link and suddenly I'm watching a short of myself. I'm so sorry. Let's restart. No, I didn't shave my head. So this is interesting. So the whole concept is like mine, windbag, mine, right? So you're like in the salt mines, chipping away. And what I find interesting is that there's a constant drone of the you know what I mean? The clanking too, yeah, totally. Welcome in. Fun. Slinger Song. Yeah, this is a classic. You know, it's interesting because I actually veer away from country, generally speaking. Like, I don't really like country. But this one, I think because of the blues qualities in it and ba-da-dum-bam-bam-ball, that actually makes me, I don't know, like I actually don't mind this. I think also, I mean, I think it's a little repetitive, right? But there's a point to it because of the nature of the game. But if we're just listening to it out of context, I would say that the part that makes it really enjoyable is just like, I don't know, I guess it's unabashedly what it is. You know what I mean? Enjoy your work day. Also love that lick. You know what else I really like? I love harmonicas, bro. Like, as someone who can play a harmonica, like, just the cool points on a harmonica player are off the fucking wall. Speaking of that, build the wall, ZSD. Yeah, StarCraft does have the Western electronic ideas too. Sure. I haven't listened to enough of it, but yeah.
I dig my hole, you build a wall.
I think this track is a little slow, but again, it's supposed to be like introspective and like, you know, blues, so, you know, kind of reflecting on what the fuck is going on, you know what I mean?
One day that wall is gonna fall.
It's just storytelling through music with a little bit of melancholy in it. It's interesting.
Gonna build that city on a hill. Someday those tears are gonna spill. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be there before too long. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Gonna build that wall up to the sky. Someday your bird is gonna fly. Gonna build that wall until it's done. Gonna build that wall until it's done. But now you've got nowhere to run. So build that wall and build it strong, 'cause we'll be
And it's interesting because it's just so sad and so somber and so bleak, and it's just repeating itself over and over again. And it's kind of one of these things where, it's hard to pinpoint because I'm not well versed enough with blues history and blues style. So I feel like it'd be sort of okay. Well, from my own personal feeling on the piece while listening to it, it just repeating gonna build that wall. That's the negative, right? Like that's the bad. That's bad, or maybe it's not because it's like a statement. Gonna build that wall, and it's like there's always melancholy because of the nature of the blues. Obviously, some blues is happy, but we're using that sort of minor to. I just feel like we're reiterating the fact that time is slipping through our fingers and we are isolated and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's just excellent too because her voice, it's interesting because this is very low, but her voice naturally sits in that lower timbre. And so there's not a lot of breathiness per se. And I find it really, elegant. And I find it really, it's almost like a cathartic, like, man, this shit just like has fallen apart. You know what I mean? Those are some of the themes that I pick up on when I listen to it. But it's sad and haunting in a way. Spike in a Rail. So freaking fun. Yeah, that's a joy. That's a joy. That's another one that is just so satisfying to listen to. It's the mood is electric, and there's a sense of propulsion in it that's really enjoyable, coupled with this real drive of like, I'm gonna do this thing. You know what I mean? It's really, really, really cool. What's Left Undone. It's interesting how the twang and the banjo coupled with the intensity of the rhythm underneath has that like a really fun natural clash where it almost feels like a mocking song. That's a fun pivot. Wow. And again, it's fun hearing how heavy that is too. Yeah, it's definitely got some Frank Kopacki. Yeah, Hell Alert a little bit. Yep. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, like it drones on a little bit and out of context, of course, but in context, it's dope. The Mancer's Dilemma. Oh, that's nice. I don't think I've heard the back half of this. That's so cool. I love the bubbling tension in this too with the strings and the harp. It's so fun. I play most of the game. I just don't really like super giant games. Mother, I'm here. Heresy? Their games. The studio's great.
I set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, clouds are making way for me. I'm coming home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here. Eyes open wide, feel your heart and it's glowing. I'm welcome home, sweet home. I take your hand, now you'll never be lonely. Not when I'm home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here.
I mean, I like the the emotional nods are really good, and obviously the writing is very good. But yeah, I don't think there's a single super giant game that I've actually enjoyed besides this one, and I didn't even finish this one. It's only like a 4-hour game, and I always sort of top out after about 2.5. There's I think like Darren is a genius. It's just not there are tracks in Bastion that I like much more than the other games. So I haven't listened to Transistor or Pyre soundtracks. So that's on a to-do list for sure. But like, I don't like Hades very much. So I just don't, and there are parts of Hades soundtrack that I don't necessarily like either. But there are other parts I do like. So, it just, I don't know. There's not games that appeal to me. Yeah, a lot of people love Transistor. What put me off Hades? Just all of it. I like the art style. I don't really like action roguelike games. I do obviously commend them for being the first, and I think they were kind of the first, right, with the narrative, where the narrative continued, and that's fun. Where it never feels like you're fully wasting your time, because every time you start up, you experience a new element to it, which is, I mean, I think that's great. I don't like, honestly, I don't like Hades. More so Hades 2. The writing was very millennial, in that it's like, it's like, hey girl, sometimes, not every character, but it was like, it'd be like, come on, man. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't, that style of gameplay doesn't appeal to me. No, not shallow per se. I don't know. I just don't vibe with the games. It's just not games I would play. Right? Like, it's not just me, right? The writing is millennial, right? Like, it's not all of it. Some of the characters are really like grounded and sort of, you know, Greek and Shakespearean stuff. Yeah, and then I don't know. But I don't also really kind of often don't like songs within like I don't necessarily like the Siren song. Like I remember when that came out, people are like, "Oh my god, you got to check it out. You're going to love it." You know what I mean? I just don't really. This is unfortunately it's the same thing with Stray Gods. Like I love Austin's music, of course, but Stray Gods doesn't appeal to me in the least. But obviously the gameplay is really well tuned and clearly people love it. But not to be a contrarian, obviously. But yeah, no, I do like Bastion's soundtrack a lot though. For the most part. Yeah, I don't know. I just bounce off. Breaking news: man doesn't like game. I know. Pale Watchers. Oh, that sounds interesting. Hey, Transistor sounds interesting. I mean, I do. Here's the thing, though. Like, Orpheus's Lament is like. So this is what's funny is that like Orpheus's Lament to me is like a 10 out of 10 song. So interesting, but I think that's because of the history that particular song, the Lament of Orpheus, has been around for thousands of thousands of years, hundreds and hundreds of years, right? Like to hear a modern iteration of something that I've heard like 18 different versions of, is super cool, you know. In the Blood, don't really like it. Sorry. I know I'm supposed to be like Mr. Loves Music, and I do love music, but some things I don't like, and that's okay. I don't really like In the Blood or In Circles. It's in the blood. Doesn't do anything for me. I'm not trying to hate on it, obviously, because I respect the artistry that goes into it. Do you like how I'm like gamer nervous? I'm like, please don't hate me for disliking something that's universally liked. I just know that gamers get mad because we personally attach ourselves to the games we play, which is totally fair. Like I love Red Dead Redemption 2, and when people tell me it's slow and boring, I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? But I also like, I'm not going to be like, you're an awful piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, well, that's a choice. I don't agree with that at all, but you know, no shade. I don't think my community's like this. Like, I feel like everyone that's in here is like a well-mannered, you know, tried to, as I've gotten more and more subjective as the years have gone on, you know, anyway, oh God, you know what I mean? I don't know how many of you have been here. Oh, that might be interesting about Transistor. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you guys know about this, but last week I was talking with my therapist about like what to do about like when you have a strong opinion about something and you want to articulate it in a healthy way. And because I've come under flack where some people have straight up been like, the minute that he started offering his subjective opinion was when his videos started to get worse. And I was like, wait, what? But that would mean that that's fair. I respect that, Sir Brick. But that would mean that I have no opinion about anything. And he was like, Marco, you know this, Acadian, you've been in the streams. He was like, Marco, don't be a glory hole. I go, wait, what do you mean? He goes, anybody can be a mouth on the other side of a glory hole. Don't be a glory hole. Have an opinion. You should celebrate your opinion. It's not like you're not stating it as a fact. You're not being an asshole about it. You deserve to have an opinion, and it's actually kinder to have an opinion than to be nice and just go along with it. Go along with what anybody wants you to say, because anybody can do that. Anybody can push play and be like, oh, what a nice song. But it takes a little bit of kindness to say, what do you mean? That's an amazing thing for a therapist to say. It's genius. He knows exactly how to talk to me. He knows exactly how to talk to me because that's how I talk. I'm all about that. Yeah, fence sitting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. He's definitely legit. Wait, didn't you say that in your Jacksepticeye autoplays? I'm gonna speak while playing. What did I say? No, I don't think I said that in my Jacksepticeye video. I think that was way before. That was way before. This happened last week, but it was about it. I've been on a journey this year of figuring out how to express my opinions so that I feel like I'm sharing. Good morning, Fango. What's up, man? But yeah, hashtag don't be a glory hole. A lot of people left after I said that, by the way. I don't know, dude. The whole world has become so inflammatory. Like, this is really cool music, Like, I'm really happy that we get to listen to it. I may not like every track, and I may not like Supergiant's games. And am I gonna like chat with Darren and be like, hey, your music is not I don't like your music. No, because I respect him as a fucking artist. You know what I mean? Like it's really important. It's really important that one recognize that, you're welcome to Nasu. It's an important thing. Don't be a glory hole. No, but I'm serious. Like, you should have an opinion, and being nice is not the same as being kind, Like, being kind means having an opinion and sharing it in a gentle way. Being nice is being like, yeah, it's great. Or like seeing someone has a booger. You're looking to, here's the thing. You know what? There's a difference. Here's the example of being nice versus being kind. Someone has a booger. You're talking to them. You can literally see the booger in their nose. Being nice would not be saying anything. Being kind would be like, I'm so sorry to do this. You have a booger in your nose. I don't mean to tell you this, and I don't want to associate this with you and make you feel bad. You have a booger. That's being kind, right? If you were nice, you would just let that booger hang there and be like, well, it's better if I don't say anything. But when you man, that's a great analogy too. You know what I mean? No, I was just teasing, Duck. I was just teasing. I don't care about that. I was just teasing. Sorry. No, I was being sarcastic. No, I know. But you know what I mean? I think that there's something beautiful about sharing opinions and doing so with people that deserve to have your opinion. First time to see me live. Oh my God, coffee powered. You know what I mean? Ew, you stinky boogie. Be like, hey, you're disgusting, but I want you to know that you have a booger. My brother loves the kind of game loops that Supergiant games have, but abhors their art style. Same with Hollow Knight and Silksong. People would burn him alive online. Boogers and glory holes. That's the Marco way. As I've gotten more comfortable with who I am online, I definitely have become a lot more weird. And I also think I've been influenced by like the general sense of derangement. Many people turn I don't like this into this is shit and I must tell people. 1000%. 1000%. 1000%. I mean, I have plenty mentally wrong with me, but I definitely am thankful that I'm able to balance societal, like social cues. I guess that's one of the things that I feel are one of my strengths. But fake forced kindness is a terrible thing. And you can tell. I had a teacher that every time I used to say stuff, she would go, mm-hmm. And I'm like, bitch, you're not even fucking listening. Like, don't be fucking, you know what I mean? Like, shut up. Mm-hmm. Bro. Zippity doo dah, zippity day. But seriously, I think like there's something to be said. I mean, have I enjoyed the soundtrack in its entirety? Not at all. Not at all. Do I like certain pieces? Yeah, 1000%. Do I think that maybe Transistor and Pyre would be more my taste? Absolutely. And if they're not, that's super cool too. On Monday, I was playing Fatal Frame 2 because I was really excited about it. Didn't like Fatal Frame 2. And after 2 hours, I was like, you know what, guys? I'm gonna hop off. I'm so sorry. You know, Crimson Desert tonight. I'm streaming it at 6 p.m. Last night I was playing Wuthering Waves until 2:30 in the morning. Did I have to play that quest at 2:30 in the morning? No. Was I upset that I kind of did? That I did? Yeah, a bit, because it wasn't something that was worth staying up that late. Now I enjoyed hanging out with the community that enjoys Wuthering Waves, so that was fun. But you know, if I don't enjoy it, I'm just not gonna play. And I'll be kind about it. You like pineapple on pizza? So for April Fools, I'm gonna finally try pineapple on pizza because I've never had it before. You know, you heard a lot of bad things about Crimson Desert? No, I've heard a lot of good things about Crimson Desert. It's basically just Black Desert Online without any of the multiplayer stuff. That sounds great to me. And honestly, bro, I'm really excited to just fly around on a dragon. You know, I don't need much. I don't need like a, you know, I was talking about this with the mods. Sorry, not to pit. We only have 4 tracks left. Let's hang out. I was talking with my mods about side quests, and you're going to say I respect your hustle because I was here last night and I turned in and then knocked out, then woke up and you're still streaming and I thought no, God, no. Have I played Cult of the Lamb? I like the music of Cult of the Lamb. Rest in peace. I forget his name. So sad. I don't like Cult of the Lamb. I like it for like its art design and stuff, but I would never play a game like that. What's Oros? Oh, what's Oros? Anyway, oh wait, you're right, Tom. That's funny. I like Dicey Dungeons. So I like roguelike. I like roguelike card games. Oh, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, excuse me. Wait, someone actually said they didn't like it because of water? There's too much water? What? It feels very Dragon's Dogma coded. And I like Dragon's Dogma until I didn't. And then I was done. You know what I mean? That was what IGN said. Oh, that was a Wind Waker review. Yes, that's right. That's right. I remember hearing that when I played Wind Waker. That's right. So Dicey Dungeons. Oh, dude, actually, can we go? Can we pivot on it? Let's go on a tangent, shall we? We haven't had a single tangent. Also, I'm really upset. So I bought this game. This game is going to fuck me up so bad. Is that Keanu Reeves? My Little Puppy. It's about like a story about a puppy who crosses to the other side. It's going to fuck me up so bad. Also picked up Thomas and Friends because, of course. Why wouldn't I? Shuffles and Scuffles I haven't started yet, but this looks really charming. I love, look how gorgeous this looks. I love this type of roguelike. I really, Slay the Spire all day. All day. Hot take, Skyrim is boring? Not a hot take. Actually true. I've tried it 18 times. I haven't played nearly enough, but you know, some people have played. Look at this. Lenny, one of my mods, has played this for 60 hours. What a loser. Just kidding. But I just love roguelike card builders where heroes. This is what I was talking about earlier. Heroes of Might and Magic and cards. This is basically Balatro, but it just came out like today. Balatro, but with like Slay the Spire meets poker. All about it. I'll probably play it for an hour, enjoy it immensely, never play it again. I don't know. Like, I love this stuff. So like I don't bemoan anybody who likes Hades or Hades 2 because I mean like they're quality games and Supergiant makes great games. I just don't care. This looks good too. This is another one. This is called Pluto. Look at this. I don't even know what the fuck is going on in this game. This shit's weird as fuck. I haven't even started it yet. I don't even know if I like it. I do this thing where I'll buy indie games. I may never play them, but I like supporting the devs. I love buying indie games, and that's it. It does have Hylix vibes, you're right. I think Jesse Cox told me about this game. Can't remember. Anyway, don't be a glory hole, everybody. Have an opinion, be gentle. Actually, you know what? I think that's really what it is. I think gentleness is gone from the internet. I love Everhood. Hated Everhood 2. Hated Everhood 2. Love Everhood. Love Everhood. Everyone should play Everhood. One of the best games I've ever played. Love Everhood. Love Everhood. Everhood 2 was such a letdown. I really didn't like anything about Everhood 2. Story was weak and weird. The combat was weird. Have I played Katana Zero? Yep. Really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I loved it. Definitely like an 8 out of 10. I love Solcesto. I love Solcesto. Oh my God, I love Solcesto. Shogun Showdown is great. Was the internet ever gentle? Probably not, but it's certainly gotten worse. I didn't care for Bugsnax. I don't really like Creature Tamers. Although, did you guys see the boost mode on the Switch 2 for the Switch 1 games? So you turn on boost mode, and it sets the resolution to what it would be on the TV on the handheld. And so I started playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's not fucking grainy. I started playing Slice and Dice I love. I started playing and I started playing Xenoblade again. Dude, all the jagged, like really pixelated, gone. Now is the time to get a Switch 2. If you want to. But yeah. Pokemon Sword and Shield is fun. And people are like, that's a terrible game. Reddit mostly. And I'm like, bro, I don't see it. I haven't played a Pokemon game in fucking like 15 years, you know, besides a little bit of Legends Arceus and ZA. And I really like it. Pokopia is so charming. Xenoblade 1, yeah. It is pricey, but like, honestly, I actually think it's kind of good now, and it might be worth the money. You don't have a money for that's fair. You think it's better than Scarlet and Violet? I wish I had enough money that I could like give away like 5 Switch 2s. I wish I had enough money. I wish I had like YouTuber money that I could just be like, yo, let me give away like 4 Nintendo Switches. Honestly, I would love that. I really wish. I hope that I become like financially successful enough off of YouTube. And don't get me wrong, last year I was very comfortable, but I would love to have like expendable YouTube income where like I could just like throw money at people. I would absolutely love that. I really would. How often do you find yourself liking games that a majority of people seem to dislike? I don't think I'm a contrarian, but there are certain games that I deeply dislike that people love. Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth being a prime example. I really don't like that game. I don't, but that goes into the discussion about side stories, because side stories, they really need to be earned. Even in Monster Hunter Stories 3, one of my favorite games of the year, I'm almost done with it. When I'm not playing it, I'm thinking about it. I miss it. I long for it. The side stories, I've started skipping them because I just don't care anymore. You know, like it doesn't make sense. I just don't. I'm trying to think of like another mainline. Honestly, not that often. I mean, I generally like games. But yeah, I don't know. Final Fantasy VII in general is not the best Final Fantasy. It is definitely one of the most, if not the most impactful. So like, again, it's funny, isn't it? Because it's like, I feel like as gamers, people who love games, and all of you in here probably love games. It's like, you can be like Cyberpunk 2077. So happy they fixed the original release. So happy people like it. So happy it's good. Also, don't really ever want to play it, and I've tried it 5 times. Ghost of Yotei, totally hated it compared to Ghost of Tsushima. Not because of Atsu, not because she's a woman, Not for any of these dumb socio-political reasons that people decide that they need to attach themselves to. I just didn't like it as much as the first one. I thought it had horrible music, very bland music. Not horrible, bland. And nothing is ever horrible in gaming. It was just average. I was like, all right, 30 hours, I'm good. Death Stranding 2, a pile of dookie. Death Stranding 1, pile of dookie. Don't care about it at all. Death Stranding 2 is like, I love Kojima. I grew up with Metal Gear Solid. Like, I love Kojima. But that Kojima weirdness, somehow, maybe I was just in a different state of my life, but like Death Stranding 2, I find just so... Death Stranding and Death Stranding 2, I feel so pompous and so, like, put on. Like, having Kojima's face in the constellation on the stars is the most vapid shit. And I love Kojima, and if I ever met him, I'd be like, what an honor. Because I do feel that way. And I also feel like that game is kakaduki. You know what I mean? That whole game, bro. I don't even get me started on Death Stranding 2. I fucking hate Death Stranding 2. Ugh. You're finding FF9 to be a slog? Well, see, you're wrong. You're just wrong. I'm just kidding. That's too bad. FF9's battles are very slow. And it's a little Death Stranding. Final Fantasy 9 is weird because it's slice of life until, I mean, slice of life. It is and it isn't until like a bit, basically the last quarter, and the last quarter switches into existential dread. But you kind of need to buy into those characters in order to look. The only time I've ever been rude to anybody is when someone told me that I owed them money because Ace Combat 7 ended up being a terrible game and they hated it. And I said, you're wrong. And that was that. Because I don't believe there's a single gamer that wouldn't enjoy Ace Combat 7 or Ace Combat as a series. I just don't. And maybe there are some, maybe because if you could look past the playing game situation, it is a fantastic, not all the story is great, but it's like a fantastic little package with terrific music, and there is something to enjoy in that for everybody. But I'm also like a glazer for Ace Combat and for Final Fantasy 9. Anyway, sorry. It can be tough though. MGS4 is a good movie. That's a hill to die on, and I agree with you. And in August, we're gonna watch the fuck out of that movie. Yeah, there are a lot of escort missions. And listen, I love Ace Combat. Nitro, what the fuck? Oh, there you are. Ace Combat? Huh? Ground missions? Horrible. Hate them. I love Ace Combat. I love every single Ace Combat game I've played, even though some I like less. I love them all because they're just good, and I just enjoy them. Ground missions fucking suck, and I hate them. And like, that's funny because you'd be like, well, Marco, if you hate something, wouldn't that automatically lower the bar? No, because the rest of it is so peak that I don't even care. That's why I love Ace Combat 0, because you can choose to not do ground missions. You know what I mean? Fuck Long Day. Dark Souls 2 is my favorite. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Dark Souls 2 is great. Are any of them free? No, but Ace Combat 7 usually goes on sale for like $5. I wasn't interested in Wuthering Waves, but I watched the main parts. You and some other people are playing 3.1, and I'm a little tempted to pick it up. Wuthering Waves is a good game. It's a really good game. I really think it's fun. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Fucking hate it. I'm going to try again this year, I think. Fucking hate it. Ace Combat is on sale right now? Bro, this might be the time. Hold on. Let's look. I got Rev Ford to get excited about it. No, it's not on sale right now. Nope. Sorry, I'm wrong. Well, fuck you too, buddy. Let's see. Ace Combat 7. Yeah, no, it's $50 right now. Don't buy it for $50. What about those key? What's that key site that I like? Key. Ace Combat Loaded. It's $5.29 right now on loaded.com, which is a legitimate key site that I've used to buy and gift many keys. Yeah, Loaded right now right now Loaded it's $5.29 on PC worldwide. Very legitimate site. It used to be cdkeys.com or whatever. No problems here. I've bought so many codes from this site, and when I do giveaways, I buy from here. So, $5.29, super worth it. That's a 92% off, and one of the best games ever made. Just a delight. Castlevania Lord of Shadows, a good game despite its problems. It's solid. You know what? You guys are cool, so you guys are gonna understand. Don't you feel like we need more 7 out of 10 games? Like, that's why I'm actually more excited for Crimson Desert to be a 7 out of 10 game, because I'm like, you know what? That means that not everybody likes it. That means that it's not universally liked. Ace Combat 7 is on PS Plus, you're right. You know, and I think it's actually more telling of the game being accepted and being like for a very specific audience, because it's a lower score. And I probably, like, a year ago I would have disagreed with you, but like, I really feel that way now. Like, give me some 7 out of 10 games, because 7 out of 10 might end up, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure, you know? Oh man, Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes, chef's kiss. 710 woke but not woke. Oh God. We do need more AA. You know, I was talking with Reb Ford yesterday. We were talking about the lack of whimsy. And I think maybe that's why people love Trails games. Trails are kind of whimsical. They're kind of quirky. They're a little weird. Monster Hunter Stories 3, full of whimsy. Whimsy, we were listening to a track from Banjo-Kazooie. And they just don't make them like that anymore. Where's Ape Escape? Where's Sly Cooper? Where's this weird shit, you know? It's gone. It's gone. There's no more whimsy. It's all about money. You like Doom the Dark Ages? I definitely dogged on Doom the Dark Ages. I thought that game was dookie. Did not like Doom the Dark Ages. I can see why you like it, though. Big studios don't like taking risks. Speaking of whimsy, Esoteric Ebb, full of whimsy. Solo dev. Well, what's not to love? You know? I hope Fable blends like AAA with whimsy and with you know, that was funny though, because people it's, you know, a lot of whimsy to be found, but you have to shovel the AAA out of the way. And I agree with you, but then people say that they don't like indie games because they're trying to do what has already been done before, but like in a different skin. And I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck do you want? Like, what do you want? What? I'll take 18 different Slay the Spire clones over fucking, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like what? Why does everything, and this is something I see with like larger YouTubers or reviewers, where they're like, well, it's just a little iterative. Who fucking cares? I saw it on Twitter, so don't bother. But, you know, point is, like, who cares? Why does everything need to be reinventing the wheel? It's not physically possible. Let people iterate. Iteration is good. We should iterate. It's a cycle, right? Someone does something, it blows up, it's a totally new idea, and then there's a whole bunch of things that come after it. What the fuck is Souls? That's what Souls-likes are. And we can still have beautiful Souls-likes. They don't have to be inventing something new all the time. Ugh. Oh, there you go. There's a game that is universally loved that I really don't like. Halo. I really don't like Halo. Try as I might. Halo 3, I'll play it. ODST, I'll play it. Do I like it? Not really. You know? 9 Souls, yeah. Do I like Among Us? I do, yeah. This is fine. Same with Gears. I just don't like it. Shareholders looking for an ROI on an investment for art killed the creativity in major studios. Yeah, I actually agree. One of my biggest frustrations is the fact that PlayStation used to be weird and quirky and strange. And then I have heard the Nine Souls OST. You can find it on the live tab on this channel. Gears of War, yeah. Also because it makes me motion sick, but that's a separate conversation. I like my World War II first person shooter. You know, I like my Rainbow Six Siege and my Marathon, and like I love Marathon. It is super fun. I like it more than Destiny. Dare I say it? Yeah, I'm saying it. Is Sony going to shut down Bungie because they fucking sold, $1 billion, was it 28 billion? And it's sort of middling performance because it's an extraction shooter? I hope not. Easily 1000% could though. Because all they care about is the money and the bottom line. But for me, it's like good for Bungie for trying something new and stepping out of their fucking, comfort zone and trying something unique. And honestly, the gameplay is so good that it's like, well, I forgive it. It's not perfect, but like they clearly care about it, but they definitely lost sort of the status of being this like, upper echelon AAA like a developer, Did I play Echo Chrome? No. And actually we were going to listen to the soundtrack, but I had to pivot away from the OST listen structure, but it looked like it was really interesting and charming. If they killed 14 after it failed on launch, we would not have the game we have now. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. And even look at Warframe. Like Warframe is a game that not everybody likes, but Warframe at least like is constantly trying new things and is constantly iterating on itself, See, but look at all of you. Look at all of you. This is why grifters on the internet make a lot more money than I do. Look at all of you. All your neurons activating, complaining and talking and frustrating and discussing music and games and what's better than the other. No wonder those people are so successful. No one wants to celebrate anything anymore. God, those fucking thumbnails that are like, they lied to you. And then the title's like, they can't keep getting away with this. And you're like, I fucking hate slop. But then you're right there clicking on that shit. But then you see another video, the best thing I've ever played. And it's like just a normal picture. I'm not clicking on that shit. Uninteresting. They lied to you. They don't want this to win. There's a few channels like that where I just cringe every time. It's like they're coming for you. They're destroying the game. They're destroying what they built. We are so back. Oh my God. That's so funny. Games, man. Meanwhile, it's like, let's listen to this beloved soundtrack. Being vague works, but it's also negative emotions, which are really, really, really easy to twist and turn. It's just so easy. It's just so easy to get manipulated from anybody. But like alcohol, it makes you sad if you do it too much. Yeah, that's true. That's like Crimson Desert, the game most journalists hate, but players will love. Oh, good. So we're scapegoating and we are pitting us versus them. Great. Yeah, rage bait sucks. I mean, YouTube has definitely changed so much, and it's much harder to be positive online. Yeah, I know. That's why I want to do a Genshin versus Wuthering Waves video, because those two player bases hate each other, And I want to start it with, like, I want to do like some like really, really scintillating title. Like, finally, there can only be one. Who wins? And you know it's just going to be a bunch of angry people that show up. And I'll be like, guys, everyone wins because these games are great. And it's not like a compare and contrast video. It's just literally just listening to both soundtracks and just being like, how about this one? How about this one? How about this one? What do you mean? Of course this is better. And then the comments are going to start fighting. And then I'm going to become a millionaire. Joy baiting is the new meta. I actually really am going to make a Genshin versus Wuwa video, but not actually. What is joy baiting? The greatest game I've ever played. But I mean, people even yelled at me when I wrote that. I did my Nier video. That, thank you very much, guys, for watching that. By the way, it blew up to like 100 something K. Nier, Marco Meatball. Yeah, Nier Automata has the greatest soundtrack ever made. And people were like, well, that's a statement. Get joy baited, motherfucker. What do you mean? How can you say that? This game changed my life. I'm so happy to play this. It's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. Nier Automata does have the greatest soundtrack ever made. That's an objective fact. Bro, it's a fact. That's horrible. You know, hyperbole is a dangerous thing. Because that's hyperbole, right? Nier Automata has the greatest soundtrack ever made. Yeah. That's obviously it's one of the best. But you can't write Nier Automata has one of the best. It just doesn't click. It doesn't click. And I need you to pay my bills. But actually, that's a great video title. Before playing Nier, after playing Nier. And then you have the side by side. You have the one which is like, and then you have the other one which is like shell shocked with like a helmet. Yeah. Anyway, that was a nice segue. That was a nice little. I got to fill out the time, you know. Nier versus Expedition 33. Honestly, I gotta say, you know, you want to know a truth? I still love Expedition 33's music. I still think that game is like one of the best games I've ever played. But I think it has gone over time. Over time, it has lowered. Whereas others have kind of popped back to where they belong in my like shelf. I still love Clair Obscur. I still think it's like in the top, like definitely I think in like the top 100 best games I've ever played, probably. FF9 is very sad. FF9 is cute and sweet and fine. And then once but it's actually kind of depressing. Nier Automata cured my dog's depression. Oh my god. No, we're not even done. We're not done with Bastion. I just got distracted. Sorry. Do I think it was overexposure to E33? You know what it is? I think sometimes when people are like, this is the best thing ever made, I think that after a while can be like, okay, I get it. But that's only because I see it, from my perspective as a creator, where it's like, what? It's like every time I don't include Halo in a non-gamer video, I get some sort of shit for no Halo. Preposterous. You know? And it's like, okay, bro, like, let me just chill. Yes, I know E33 is great. It's good. Yes, it's fine. And Via Time, I'll never put in a video. It's 11 minutes long. It's not even that good. Like, it's good, but it's not that good. I really like it, but I don't think it's like, and Via Time is great, but I also, there's a balance. I really, really love E33 though. Like in a normal way. You know what I mean? In a normal way. But I also get the opposite. I like, oh, great, Ludwig the Holy Blade again. Bro, have you listened to it? There's a lot of other great tracks. Have you listened to Ludwig, though? And no shade to anyone who likes or loves E33, but I truthfully didn't understand the hype it received. Oh, well, see, I understand the hype it received. I felt that the hype was justified. I felt that the hype was justified. But I understand why you feel that way. Did you play it? Because I felt that E33 really delivered. But to be fair, people say that about Hades too. And then I end up, absolutely, I literally rolled my eyes so many times when I tried to play Hades 2. All of it just feels like so slathered on. It's like, bro, yes, okay. Yes, we're appealing to the millennials. Hey, Persephone, how are you, man? Again, not to diminish the acting, not to diminish the package. It's still a wonderful piece of art. And I think people don't understand that. Like, I actually truly hate Silksong. I think it's a horrible game. Musically, stunning. Visually, stunning. Combat-wise, gameplay-wise, stunning. Do I like it? Absolutely not. Horrible game. Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be true at the same time. You've never played a turn-based RPG? Not once? Really? See, that I can't understand because that's pretty much been, I wouldn't say it's my go-to now, but turn-based is like a fundamental part of my childhood. That's interesting that you've never played a turn-based game. Like even Baldur's Gate 3 is another one. Baldur's Gate 3, fantastic piece of, not interested. Played 60 hours, don't care. Don't care about the characters, don't care about the world, don't like the combat at all, not fun. Best game ever made? Probably. Hate it. Don't care. You know what I mean? It's just kind of funny. It's kind of fun. Taste is a funny thing. Meanwhile, there's people that are like foaming at the mouth for Baldur's Gate 3, and I just, awesome game. Couldn't care less. Weird. It's weird. Just weird. No reason not to like it. Don't care. You know what I mean? And I think it's good to, it's like all the parts, obviously, when they combine and they enter into a game, that's really amazing because then you, it's like a beautiful sauce. You need all the different ingredients to make a beautiful, rich pasta sauce. However, you can also look at those ingredients. You look at the meat, you look at the parsley, you look at the sauce or the tomato sauce, the tomatoes, and all of those things are beautiful on their own. And obviously, like when they come together, they're beautiful. But yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to have an opinion. That's what I'm saying. You guys should always feel like you can come into a stream and be like, I don't like that. Cool. Why? Or don't. You know what I mean? Whatever. But like having an opinion and celebrating your opinion without being an asshole should be more accepted. Don't be a glory hole. Don't be nice. Be kind. Hype poisoning is interesting. Not playing something is weird because of curiosity. That's fair. Hollow Knight, I loved Hollow Knight. I 98% of it, 92% of it. I do think that E33 hits a lot harder if you've had a loss. Yes, it really leans into the grief there. Like another example would be Violet Evergarden. As I've watched, I think this is sacrilegious, but I actually do feel that Violet Evergarden is very pure, very honest, very wears its heart on its sleeve. I also think it meanders into grief porn. I do. You can't say that online without getting yelled at because Violet Evergarden is a fantastic work of visual and musical beauty. It's a fantastic piece of art. I think everybody should watch it. I think it's kind of grief porn. It's just incessant, especially the last 4 episodes. You know what I mean? Something getting insanely hyped makes me take longer to start it. That's fair. I do think it's important to push being open about your opinion, even if the majority have the opposite one. You have finished 100% of Silksong, just not Steel Soul or Speedrun, and you absolutely loved it. I could see why. Evergarden does meander because the focal point of each episode past episode 4 is the stories of each character, so not Violet herself. Yeah, totally. Absolutely. You still watch that episode 10? The problem with me was it was episode 10, episode 11, and then episode 12. Well, 12 I don't remember, but episode 10 and 11 back to back was a little bit too much. I agree with you, Astaria. It is a strength. 1,000,000%. Marco, can you think of a game that you love despite hating its components? Oh, not off the top of my head. Well, maybe it is The Witcher 3. I hate the menus. I don't like the alchemy. But you don't really have to interact with all that stuff. I mean, no, maybe it isn't The Witcher, because The Witcher is special. A game I hate, but love the components. I'm trying to think. I can't think of one. Oh, Mass Effect. That's interesting. Silk Song? Yeah, I guess Silk Song. I love all of the individual components and really despise the game. like hate it. I think it's also like one of the most glorious soundtracks to come out in gaming, and I think like the art style is beautiful, and it's still like a masterpiece to me, but I absolutely hate it. Sekiro, that's interesting. Love Mass Effect, hate the mining, hate the conversation system, hate the way the combat class system works. That's so interesting. I suppose I've kind of neutraled out on Mass Effect over the years. I loved Mass Effect 2. Let's go back to Pale Watchers, shall we? We've been yapping here for great question. I don't know. Oh yeah, Kingdom Come Deliverance, I don't like. And I should really like it, and I just don't. Anyway, thanks for the rants, guys. like how through it all we kind of are constantly pushing through, and we're just like, man, this sucks. Like this is a messed up scenario. This is broken. This is rough. And yet, you know what? I have to persist, and that's where that momentum, kind of comes in. Would I rather dig a hole or build a wall? I'd rather dig a hole. Yeah. But I like that through that sense of frustration, we're able to. I do think that, honestly, I think Terminal March is probably the peak of this soundtrack. It's probably the most. It's probably the most interesting to me. Like, a lot of these are. It's interesting because they're really. I think they're all well made, but some of them kind of meander a little bit, and they kind of just don't. They don't necessarily do anything, but they obviously fit the context. But in terms of like pure listening, I think See Ya, I definitely think Bin the Breaker and the Terminal March are the two like peaks of the soundtrack for sure. The Bottom Feeders. Wow. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. See, this is so unique though, right? Battletech? That's John Everest. John is a phenomenal composer. I haven't listened to a ton of it, but I know John's style, and he's a very a really melodic composer, and Battletech is a good soundtrack. John Everest is really good. Sleep well, man. Take it easy. I'll be back on tonight at 6 o'clock for Crimson Desert, so feel free to join. It's interesting because it's a meandery track with a lot of drive in it. So it's both very chill. It's both very chill and also very aggressive at the same time, which is really interesting. So there's this constant sort of push and pull between right and this forward momentum. It's very interesting. It's very cool. It's very cool how there's a tug of war basically between pulling back and moving forward in aggression, which is really fun, right? You hear that though. I don't need me to tell you. From Wharf to Wilds. Love that track. Setting Sail, Coming Home. Yeah, this track is dope as fuck. It's super heavy. Really, really, really retrospective. Obviously, the duet here is, I mean, phenomenal. Yeah, this is great. This is excellent. Yeah, dude. That's sick as fuck. I'm not going to say anything about that besides it's sick as fuck. But that, yeah, dude. That that was excellent. That probably bumped up to my second favorite track after Twisted Streets, or no, I'm sorry, Terminal March, and then Bin the Breaker. Yeah, just phenomenal.
Gods ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Then God's gonna hurt you, son, when you play with a loaded gun. When you play with a loaded gun, they ain't gonna catch you when you fall. You'll be bleeding while you're bleeding. They ain't gonna heal you, son. Don't care about what you've done. They ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Be sorry for what you've done. Hope you cranky old boy, make you sorry for what you've done. Answer in a black veil, gonna prick you for what you've done. Roses got you empty, got you weeping for what you've done. I say, mother, lonely old gal, tear your heart out for what you've done. Tear your heart out for what you've done. They ain't gonna catch you when you fall. You'll be bleeding while you're bleeding. Gods ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Then God's gonna hurt you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. You'll be sorry for what you've done.
Yeah, it's interesting how much of the storytelling aspects of this, even though it's kind of repeating the phrase, but you can hear, like, you know, you're going to be sorry for what you've done, so on and so forth. And like that idea is the crux of that, right? Obviously. And musically, you hear the sort of like kind of fucked up, you know what I mean? Like, it's not great. Yeah. So overall, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's not my favorite style of music. It's not country, so I don't hate it. I do like blues more than country, much more than country. Country is like at the very bottom of my brain list. But it's bleak and you know, it's sad. But yeah, overall, like, what a treat to listen to Bastion top to bottom and experience this. And honestly, maybe I should go and finish my save because I've never finished it, and it would be nice to maybe just finish it just to say I finished it. Yeah, I wanted to listen to the music from what's it called, but what's it called? Shit, what was the name of the game? But it's the spring sale. The spring sale's live. Spring sale's live, chat. Go buy Ace Combat. Go buy Ace Combat 7. Spring sale is up. Well, actually, is it? Maybe it might be indies. Nope, just indies. The spring sale is coming, though. It's definitely frontierish, yeah, for sure. Sorry, just indies. Some indies. But I wanted to listen to that Void stuff, but I have to go. Yeah, really, really cool. Thanks for letting me rant for literally broke a record. It was a 50-minute rant, so thank you for the great combo there. Bastion was great. Thank you so much to Callie for requesting this soundtrack. Of course, we really don't do soundtrack OST requests anymore just because it became a little bit too much for me to handle. But we still do 2 a month. And then obviously on the second Wednesday of every month, we have our community live stream. On Fridays, typically we have our Patreon live streams. And I would expect more community stuff as the channel, as we continue through 2026. Thank you so much for hanging out, of course. Yeah, it was a delight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You want me to make some shorts out of that rant? I'm going to get yelled at online. Okay, fine, I will. Thank you so much for hanging out. Shipbreaker fans, you did try. I'm so sorry. I just have to go. And remember, don't be a glory hole. Don't be a glory hole. Be nice. Don't be nice. Be kind. And that is, if you learn anything from me today, tell your friends. Don't be a glory hole. And don't be nice. Be kind. Tell people if they have boogers in their nose in a gentle way. Don't not tell them to be nice. We'll be back at 6 p.m. tonight for Crimson Desert. I'm going to go work out and film a non-gamer episode. I actually will feature, I think, Setting Sail Coming Home in that video. So appreciate you guys. See you later. Have a great rest of your day.